We could see Mangoes took blue side again, so they seem to be prioritizing. And we can also see Winter's Belveth, his I believe his own wording, he called himself a one trick on this champion. I'd argue he's seemed good on other champions too, but I'm pretty sure all of the Mangoes wins outside of that first game here, he has been on the Belveth. So you love to see it for him. Let's have a look at the ban adaptation. We see the Zyra got taken away, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. With how badly it went in that second game there, the 1-9 on the Zyra, I believe. To take that away, I'm not saying it's the wrong call. I'm just saying it surprises me. They give the Belveth. Oh, go on.
I think it's more the threat of the lockdown, of that constant poke, especially when you've got this Jhin. You just don't want to risk it. And now they've got the Rel, they've got this Ezreal. It'll be interesting to see, because we saw Slapper, he was never in lane after the first couple of minutes. And on this Rakan, he can do so much.
The names are mixed. I believe it was actually Puppets on the Rakan, but I agree.
Oh, Puppets,
entirely agree. I understand why they drafted the way they have here. And you can see that the adaptation on bans from the Mangoes, they took away the Fiddlesticks because that Fiddlesticks got massive. Obviously, we didn't really talk about it too much in the game, but I can imagine from their side, when this guy is just not in line of sight, when he just appears ultimate on several members from nowhere because they didn't have vision on him, it makes sense to get rid of him. And they've also gotten rid of the Kleds. So a lot of the champions they faced in that last game, they are severely worried about. The only champion they kept off the map completely is the Camille, which I don't recall if we've seen the Camille out of Slimzy in this tournament. Again, long-time viewers will remember it because it hurt, wounded many a team in the Summer Invitational. But, keeping it off the board here in this one. But let's have a look at the team comps real quick and see how we feel about it. So if we go top to bottom for Mangoes, you got Volibear, Belveth, Victor, and then in the bot lane is Ezreal and Rel. So they have good engage on the Rel and good damage, especially Victor, Volibear, Belveth, and Ezreal. They're all pretty good at dropping the DPS. So I think these guys, if Rel can land the engages, they will have a very good team fight. But if we look on the other side, they've drafted for team fight on their side too. We see Puppets retains the Rakan, of which he had an immense pressure and global presence on in game 2. We trade out the Fiddlesticks and the kind of surprise engage for the Jarvan, which again we have seen time and time again in the Winter Open 2025 being used insanely well for its early pressure. In fact, actually, I believe in the first series that Team 5DK played, we saw Jarvan come out twice for the enemy team, and it did work on them. So, in fact, I believe we saw it was like a one camp into a gank in the top lane. And maybe Sevan's looking to replicate that here with the Jarvan.
100%. I mean, I only caught bits of it, but obviously this Victor really struggled. So I don't get why, if you're picking Victor, you're letting this way back through. But only time will tell as we are getting into game.
For sure. Also, one thing we've noticed, or at least I have noticed during these early trades as well, is that the mid lane, they trade aggressively and they trade hard and fast. If I remember correctly, in game 2, I think both of them had 0 pots by like 5 minutes. Like they were fighting more than they were farming. And if that continues, I think in this game with this draft, Jarvan will have more impact than Belveth will in those kind of environments. Your enemy mid laner is on 30-40% HP. If you can land a flag and drag, you kill. But we have
we're seeing a bit of action already. I mean, Brad was literally sitting in that bush for a good 5-10 seconds on vision. I'm surprised he didn't get even attempted poked out there, because he was a sitting duck. But everyone gets away without any harm. But now they know, no threat there.
Yeah, I think it was a safety thing. I think you gotta remember, this is the do or die right now. You lose this game, you go home. and we will not see you until at least the Summer Invitational. So I think I understand the safety here, and honestly, the early aggression, first blood coming out here for Slapper. Walter's able to get the revenge kill here, and maybe another one onto Puppets.
Yeah.
Puppets gasped weirdly there. That was rough for him. You just saw him. He kind of wiggled back and forth, like he was like, "Oh, maybe if he dies, I can like do something here." And I think that ended up costing him his life. But,
yeah. I mean, that all came from the rail. Like, that all came from the rail. Yeah, the rail died, but she got a beautiful jump back on the gen, putting him in a really rough spot. And obviously, by that point, you know, as much as she dies with the gen execute, Ezreal was in free fire. He should have been the one being targeted, not this rail. So if you're the side of the Mangles, that's a perfect start.
I agree. I mean, you saw how much I harped on the fact that they have less aggression in the bot lane in this game, right? So to come out with 2 kills on your bot lane immediately is a lovely thing. And you can see Rel's trying to make stuff happen on the map as well, which is a real smart play. You know, your bot lane is not even there to kind of do anything right now. And the wave, I believe, was pushing in. So it was like, if you did try to go back to lane, you wouldn't have gotten anything anyway. One thing I do want to mention about that play that happened as well is they only lost the Ignite and the Flash on Walter. But, I mean, anyone who plays Ezreal knows that having a Flash is not that important. Arcane Shift is as good. As long as you have mana, you essentially have Flash on a 13-second cooldown. And the Ignite for the rail is going to come up. I mean, it's already halfway restored. So, you know, they're having a laugh. Meanwhile, we look on the other side. Oh, go on.
Yeah, well, one thing I want to say is with that rail moving up, I'm still getting to grips with these new lane swap rules, but without not having a jungle item, that will affect it. I mean, well, Slims is getting jumped on by the Spellbreath and the Volibear.
I think, oh no, never mind. I was going to say I think he gets out, but the Flash was burnt and he still went down. Belveth picking up her first kill of the game right now, and she's got to be happy about that. You know, I mean, we mentioned early impact is important, right? And Jarvan hasn't had any yet. So we could see he is counter jungling in response to the top side presence of Belveth. But Belveth goes straight to his jungle too, and so they're matching. And, you know, if she can find those, the Krugs, doesn't quite want to commit, she is going to be a camp down in the end.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, as a jungle, I mean, that's the worst feeling. You know, before you even finish your clear. I mean, you see this knock up here. I mean, she's doing everything right. She's tanking all the damage for the Ezreal. The Rakan falls weak, and then Jhin is a sitting duck. Yeah, he gets his 4th shot onto this rail and blows her up. But by that point, you know, the Ignite's there. He's a dead man walking to this Ezreal with the Arcane Shifts, and then, that's just a free double kill for the Ezreal.
And now here we can see what happened in the top lane. You know,
I mean, we see Belveth coming in.
It's a rough one there for the KO. What we hadn't really spoken too much about the top lane because so much was going on in the bot lane, but like Volibear should be bullying KO right now, and they are currently equal. So I think that, don't get me wrong, that kill is great, and also burning the Flash means that Kale is going to be super abusable in the next 5 minutes. So I expect to see Winter make a return gank there, because if they don't and they allow that Flash to come up for free again, especially as the KO hits 6 and gains ranged auto attacks, you know, it's a difficult one. But we have a fight going on here in the jungle. It's around this first major objective. Winter just goes straight down. Yeah, Sevan's going to be able to just basically steal that. He steals the kill. And he steals the Drake. You know, he's laughing right now. I think maybe a little bit of over-aggression isn't the correct word, but overzealousness, I would say, on the side of the Deluxe Mango Gaming. You know, they wanted to try and make something happen, and it ends up actually costing them. You know, it looked like it might be a free objective, and we do see that Walter is, I mean, he's 3-0 right now. He's living not too badly, but it wasn't enough, you know? He doesn't die in the exchange, but Winter dies, and everybody else has to just run away. I
mean, we see here, you know, the J4 comes in really late. He gets the hook into the into the pit, and by that point, the game's a bogey. Yes, Lapa falls. Problem is, you've got this wave here who's doing stupid amounts of damage, so they have to back off, and they've got no way back into the pit without the smite. That's just a great play from the side of 5DK.
Yeah, I agree. Even though they are behind in kills right now and behind a little bit in gold, you know, they were able to secure that objective. They just secured a free Void Grub, so that's the second neutral objective
That's
for
huge.
them. And, you know, so now they're one neutral objective and the first turret away from being able to secure the feats of strength. And
Yeah,
Winter
this
might
should
go
be
down
another
here.
dead.
He's taking big damage. He does flash
Yeah,
out.
It's quite surprising he actually gets out there, because that should have been a free kill for the side of 5DK. But the Void's going down as well. That feels bad if you're Belveth, because you need all these neutral objectives to help your stacks, especially the Void ones.
Yeah, the Void Grubs are super strong on a champion like Belveth. So, you know, seeing those go away, especially uncontested, and also haven't mentioned the fact that she's also down in CS right now. She's been trying to have an impact on the map when Belveth is a champion, in my opinion, that is best when they get gold. You want to be able to farm up as much as you can, even if it means you have less impact on the map. Because once you get that second, you know, your second and third item, you can become A, unkillable, and B, massive damage. But regardless, I think right now we should be focusing on the top side because there is a lead building for this KO. She got her AoE, sorry, not her AoE, her auto attacks being ranged at level 6. And now she's built out a little lead for herself. She's got about 15 CS in the lead, and considering the kill didn't even go onto Ice Machine when they did gank that lane, of which, by the way, the Flash has returned, and she wasn't punished. It kind of feels bad to be the Volibear now, you know? He's kind of on a timer in terms of how strong he is versus her. Go on.
No, I mean, that's just exactly it. I mean, this kill had her weak spot. She's now in her kind of mid game where she's slightly a champion. She's not quite a champion, but she is more of a champion than she was. And she's very close now to becoming that end-game champion. That's going to be quite scary. I mean, Volibear's already struggling. There's nothing worse than a fed kill.
Yeah, KO being fed and getting... I mean, she is essentially getting a free lane right now. You know, the fact that she has a 14 CS lead against this Volibear is, in my opinion, problematic. It's indicative of what may come in the future. If you allow champions that can hypercarry, that become major problems in the late game, to get to that late game untethered, like, it's, you know, it's always a ritual for disaster. And we can see here that we do have some kind of play here going on in the bottom lane. Big flash ultimate by TD Camper. Gonna lock up Slapper, but oh, Sevan's here maybe. Curtain Call's gonna come out. They might be able to turn this play. Walter maybe gets out. Last shot's gonna miss. Are we gonna get another flag and drag though? Is he gonna commit to it? I don't know. Engage comes here by TD Camper, and the barrier might keep him alive. Puppets flies in, doesn't get the knockup shutdown. Onto Sevan. The J4 is going to walk away a happy man. Kind of a weird exchange in general, though.
Yeah, I don't know how he misses all of those curtain calls as we do see Kale getting blown up and a fight in mid here. And I don't know how he misses all the curtain call, but that W came from downtown on the Jhin and was crucial to securing that kill.
Yeah, 100%. They giveth and they taketh away, as we see here. The barrier did come out early here by Jhin, keeping himself all right. And yeah, as you mentioned, blocking up the Rel there with the W is a big thing there. Kept her completely still as the Jarvan locks down the Ezreal. And yeah, there's the second one's going to keep him down. And even though the knockup didn't come out immediately, as they engage the dive, we get that second knockup, and we come out of a replay straight into more combat. Sevan looks like he's caught out, but the invulnerability is going to come out from the KO. Winter's on 10% HP. Whale's going to do big damage there onto TD Camper too. They might be able to kill him. Flash comes out by Slimzy, and he's going to go down. That's a Nash's Tooth on that KO, by the way. First item completed before before the Volibear even finished his item too. It looks like
and that's
I can't remember the name of this item, but it's the one that gives movement speed. It's an AP item that gives movement speed, and it's what the Volibear is building right now. Cosmic Drive, I think it's called.
Cosmic Drive. Yeah, I don't get that build, if I'm honest.
Really?
It's not the item
I can explain. I can explain it to you,
yet.
but it will sound it kind of sounds rich coming from me. Can I have a 0% win rate on Volibear in the tournament? But I can explain the build to you if you want. Essentially, Cosmic Drive allows Volibear to not have to buy boots early because the movement speed that it gives him is really strong. And the AP also boosts his passive damage and his E damage and his W damage, which is great. But the main reason you get it for is the movement speed. And you'll see it if he's able to have some agency moving into now that he has his first item. It might make a difference, but I'm not gonna lie, the Kayle is still a problem for him. And then once you build the Navori Flicker Blades, that gives you all of your abilities on a much shorter cooldown. So it allows you to become significantly beefier because all of your tankiness comes from your E and your W. Being able to regain that HP and get shielding is most of how Volibear becomes a tank. And he also gets to build damage. So, you know, his damage is also just generally insane.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't know about that because my Volibear got shattered.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just used to seeing Spoopid's Volibear build. I don't think he's in this tournament, but his Volibear is something else. One thing I do want to say, though, is this rel is doing a lot of work. Yes, their scrolling doesn't show it, but some of these engages have been clutch, like that almost reverse play, and that failed play in the bot lane. She created so much, they just couldn't capitalize, and she's going to be clutch if the Mangoes want to win this.
I agree entirely. We mentioned it in Champion Select, but she is their primary source of engage, and especially as we move away from the early game. Okay, full out here. Big ultimate by Hui and Cataclysm is going to make sure he goes down there. And that is his first death of the game. So I do have to commend him. In comparison to game one, we can see that he has definitely adapted and he is not hemorrhaging anywhere near as much as he was in that previous game. You know, 1 death and 13 CS versus what I believe was like 30 CS and he died like, what was it, like 9 times or something? I can't even remember. It was a lot of deaths. So to see his first death come here only at 14 minutes, you gotta be pretty happy with that, right?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I mean, I think we're now going to see a tower race here because I'm 99% sure they've secured the feat of objectives or the one dragon away. So yeah, we see here, obviously Flash's elbow gets caught in the way, and yeah, but at that point there's not much you can do.
No. And it feels quite bad as well, considering he already committed the flash and then proceeds to still die. So he's gonna have to, you know, survive without flash. Hopefully the Jarvan doesn't bully him. I mean, we can see the Jarvan does have the Eclipse now, sitting at level 9 right now, so sitting comfortably. Not quite as impressive in terms of the amount of impact he's had on the game. You know, he's took part in 4 of their 6 kills, so he has actually been a part of quite a lot. Maybe my expectations are too high from some of the Jarvans we've seen throughout the rest of the tournament, but we can see here Walter trying to make it 3 for 3 on first turret. He does actually do it. And now Slapper's kind of caught out. Rel's going to knock him up, lock him up, and Puppets makes his entrance here, trying to make something happen. We see the Ignite comes out onto Walter. Is there even going to be a kill here? Oh, they locked him up. Flash comes out by Walter. He's going to try and get himself out, but we're not going to get to see the end of that play because we're going straight into a topside scuffle. Winter looks like he's going to drop here. Sevan's going to lock him down with the old pole there, you know, hit him with a Q. And bot side is just going to kind of turn into nothing. We got a little, everything kind of dissipates. We return to a sense of calm. So it's a big kind of swing, though, to be honest. The gold is still fairly even, but we got fights going on cross map, and top lane is kind of looking brutal now. We got a 20 CS lead here. We're going to have the ultimate come out by Volibear. Volibear does big boy damage. Oh my god. All right, never mind.
There's the Cosmic Drive doing work.
Yeah, he got that cosmic drive, and he was like, "Okay, this guy's disrespected me for too damn long. We gotta take him down." Straight into the ultimate, straight into the Q, locks him up, eats the entirety of the E, and then it's just done from there, man. And
I think the most confusing
Plating's
thing for
down.
me,
Yeah.
I think the confusing thing for me is 5DK knew that it was a race to towers, yet both sides didn't really bother about trying to push a tower. I would like to have seen 5DK fully commit in this mid lane, which they had a push. This way was bullying that tower. But yet, there was nothing done, and obviously this Ezreal and the Rel had agency on it. Volibear is going to clear that top side as well. It just feels like a missed opportunity for 5DK. Let's hope it doesn't come to bite them in the bum.
Ultimate comes out here by
Kale
Ray.
getting caught out.
He is going to get away with the flash. That's not too bad. When they commit 3 members, but we need to see whether or not 5DK can punish the fact they've committed so many people up here. Brad is going to try and get that tier 1, but he doesn't really have the wave, so it's going to be fine. We do see a little bit of support here by the Jarvan too. Go on.
I think the most impressive part about the Deluxe Mango Gaming is they managed to achieve 2 of the first, well, both first towers, both 2 of them, without grubs, as we do see Camper getting caught again on this Rel. But Rel's a tanky maiden, and she will just get out and in fact turn the fight.
Yeah, this is looking like an interesting one. Brad is in a safe place, and he is a high-range champion, so he could deal good damage. Ends up turning into nothing, though, as we see everybody kind of walks away. Everybody's safe. We got wave crashing bot, so Jin's going to catch that. Hopefully mitigate some of the little CS lead that Walter has right now in that matchup. We haven't really spoken too much about CS leads here in this game. If we have a quick look down on the inventories of everybody, we can see there's about 20 CS, or more closer to 10 actually, in the bot lane. Sorry, not in the bot lane, in the top lane. And then in the jungle, it's fairly equal. Both of them have finished their jungle items. So they've got the fully upgraded pet of the 1200 damage smite. And we got the Eclipse on the side of the J4. We got Blade of the Ruin King on the side of Belveth. I don't really know who the Blade of the Ruin King is for in this game, though. No one's super tanky. Winter's gonna get smacked with the Cataclysm. Lucky for him, though, Thorben's W was able to just lock up Sevan. It was literally clipping him just on the edge. Locks him up long enough of the flash, for Thorben to be able to get out with the dash even. But Curtain Call's going to get called, and Walter's going to just about get to safety, but TD Camper's got 3 guys on him right now. I don't know if he's that tanky. He's tanky, but is he that tanky? He is not. He is but a mere mortal support, and with his 3rd death here, it's kind of rough, man. His team abandoned him there. I understand why. I don't think the fight was winnable even if they joined him, but, like, you know, 3rd death here is rough.
Honestly, though, that's a win, a massive win for the Mangoes. Even with that Rel going down, they invested so much in the side of 5DK, and Slims has got to be careful here because this Volibear is ready to run house. 2-0 now. I think as a team, you'd still feel better if you are 5DK, although Brad getting caught out here is not that good.
No. That's a
first.
400 gold. Yeah, I was going to say 500 gold total shutdown there. And that actually kind of gives them the lead. I'm not going to lie. They now have about a 500 gold lead. And they're going to be able to take this turret. It's going to be the 3rd turret of the game for them. And all of the tier 1s down. And now they're solidifying themselves with a little bit of a gold lead here. You know, 35 to 34k. It is only 1k, but they might kill Sevan here and make it a little bit more. He is going to be able to get to safety, though. Not too bad for him. But yeah, I agree. When you mentioned that this is really good gameplay by the Mangoes, I didn't see it initially. But now, in retrospect, I agree. They've been able to turn what was a bad situation here into something actually really positive.
Yeah, so you see here, obviously, Belveth pulls away. She gets away with her life. But obviously, this Rel is doing what a Rel does. You would like to have seen him block that Gen W, but right here, she is drawing everyone away from the carries. The Ezreal ult does so much damage. And she is literally just making a nuisance of herself to allow her team to get out, while you saw so many ults burned.
Yeah, I agree. I think, again, TD Camper is kind of the guy on the enemy team right now. Oh, I said the enemy team. On the Mangoes. On the blue side. That is... yeah, I agree. I think he kind of... The team is living and dying by him right now in terms of his ability to engage and to draw
The
the
scoreline doesn't
attention
show
of the
that,
enemy
though.
team. It doesn't, I
The
agree.
scoreline
With only
definitely...
two assists to his name. But in the gameplay, we can definitely see that they are, yeah, they're attracting so much attention onto themselves. And this is going to be a cheeky free Drake for them. They're going to just pick that up with 0 contest. I think they just got that off the fact the enemy team maybe took a poorly timed base and just weren't prepared. They didn't have vision on it. And, you know, if you're 5DK, a team that wants to go late anyway, and considering the gold is equal, I guess you're not too mad about it. Because let's be real, the next time we have a fight is going to be in 5 minutes, and Kayle will be 16. We haven't spoken too much about the Kayle since we've moved towards the end of laning phase, but she has been getting punished. 1-4-1 right now. Does have 2 items, but Brad is going to get caught
Talking
here.
of getting punished.
Rel just straight jumps onto them and makes a mess of it. That is a quick kill there. Down for 40 seconds there, and that might be a free 8 Atacon, no?
Yeah, I mean, that's just the definition of broken paintbrush. And we're going to see a broken crown here in the top lane. Although, Ice Machine is taking a lot of damage off the kill. But yeah, I mean, they need to be looking for a counter engage on this Afghan, but they're not anywhere near a position to fight it. And that's just free.
No.
And it's not one you want to give away for free.
No, I agree. Giving away the Ruinous Atacon here gives a bunch of XP to the entire side of the Mangoes. And it gives them adaptive force as well, which is a nice thing, you know. Generally speaking, just getting an extra bit of AD on the Ezreal, a little bit of extra AP on the Victor, AD again on the Belveth, who is, you know, they're getting towards their second item right now. They're looking for that stride breaker. Yeah, man, it's a rough one, I think, if you're on the side of 5DK, but not so rough that it's unmanageable, you know? I think having, again, that late game insurance policy on the Kayle, super useful. Their carries, they do still have quite a lot of gold on them right now, where I think they are matching the enemy team in terms of major items. So in the mid lane, Brad is actually ahead on items right now, because it looks like Leandries is coming in second for Victor, but he hasn't quite finished it yet. Choosing to prioritize his tier 2 boots. He wants those Swifties, especially since they have the feats of strength. So he's going to be able to get those upgraded Swifties. And you get to see the same attitude here out of the Volibear as well, who I feel like we need to sing his praises a little bit, because we were saying how he, you know, he's having a hard time in the top lane, and you know, it looks like the Kale's kind of bullying him, but he is 202 right now, and he does now have the oh my god, I never miss the rocket belt, is it called now, as opposed to the proto belt. Yeah, so having that now is also going to allow him to close the gap on this Kayle, as we've seen in several fights so far. You know, so some of those 4 deaths for the Kayle have just been pure solo kills that he's been able to close the gap with his ultimate, with his Q, and now he'll be able to do the same with the Hextech rocket belt as well. It's going to be harder and harder for her to exist in a side lane until she becomes actually unmanageable, you know? But we're waiting on that, and it's taking its time. We still got 1 level until we get the AoE auto attacks. And once we get there, we'll have to see.
Yeah. I think this next fight will determine the game. If 5DK can win it, we've got a chance. But I genuinely think if this goes to the Mangoes, as they are going to play in the bot side tower, Tobin is going to fall though.
Okay, with flash engage here by TD Camper, trying to make something happen here. He's got 2 people in there, but we see the TP come out here from Slimzy. It's now a man advantage for 5DK. 5DK pick up 1 kill for Brad. He's, big ultimate here comes up by Ice Machine, going to kill the Rakan, but then he has to flash out, get away. Is he going to be able to actually survive though?
Oh my god.
That is huge for 5DK. If they could translate that into a Baron, they might be able to actually make some meaningful... Oh, goddamn Walter. No one was paying attention to him. He was chilling in the bush with 0 vision. He's going to try and make a double. Slapper survives barely because of the barrier and is able to send Walter to the fountain with a shutdown there as well, giving that Jin an extra 500 gold in his pocket. I gotta commend the Ezreal though. You know, in that situation where his team was losing the fight, being able to just be like, if I just hang back and I wait and I find the right opportunity, he almost double killed. Like, that was really good on his side. You know, he's even if the Mangoes lose here, I think Walter can go home happy that he performed really well in the first game, and even in the second and third game, I don't think he performed poorly. He's doing real well. We see there the solo kill there, Thorben less than desirable there, I think. Unfortunately, it's been kind of the story of his game. This, the TP here by Slimzy, it kind of turns his fight, if you ask me. Like, gets a lot of damage out there.
But look at that health bar. That could have easily been a very different story. But this Q here from the Jarvan is what made that fight. Locking up that Volibear to allow the curtain call, that is what shut the Volibear down. Without that, the Mangoes probably get away.
Yeah, I agree. And again, we just see at the tail end of this, the barrier there is, it doesn't actually solely keep
Look at the picture in play, but look at picture in play, we're in a massive fight.
Oh my god, here we go. Big flag and drag by Sevan, followed by the Cataclysm, gonna shut Walter down. And it's looking massively hectic here. I think, you know, 5DK are real happy with that play. We didn't see how it started, but we're gonna see how it finishes. Thorben gets the flash out, and now we've got level 16 on the Kayle. Kayle hurts, she hits like a truck, flash, flag, drag, doesn't land it on Winter, but they're still gonna maybe commit to the dive here. Not quite, we're gonna clear the wave instead. In between the two turrets as well. We got 4 members here waiting to try and get Thorben. Puppets is gonna just tank the turret for them.
Oh my
Let them walk it in. And that's beautiful for them. We got the 6 grubs doing tank duty here too. Meanwhile, unbeknownst to any of us, the Jin is farming turrets in the mid lane. He just got tier 2 completely for free. And if they can't shut him down here, he's just gonna walk away scot-free with a bunch of gold in his pocket. God damn, alright, we're gonna get the replay here on this dragon fight.
Yeah, so
this one we can see.
They're just on the dragon way in advance. The Mangoes have to try and do something. Problem is, they're so spread out. Rel goes in. She does a lot of work allowing her team. It's a dragon steal in the end, even though they had vision and control. But they're so split, the Mangoes. Like, the curtain call gets cancelled in the end. You don't even need it. That was just such a messy fight.
Yeah, no, 100% I agree. I think it was a super messy one on their side. We saw the Volibear try to make sure that he was getting into the fight and stuff, like he TPs in early. I don't know if you can see in picture. We got another fight going on around this Baron. As soon as this replay ends, we cut to another replay instead of going to the fight. I kind of want to see the fight though, I'm not going to lie to you. We see, the Jin is able to keep himself safe, but here we go back. Okay, Rel fell. Otherwise, it seems fairly neutral. Whoever wins this fight gets the Baron, though. And we see Puppets takes big damage off of that arcane shot. Damn.
These two teams are here to fight. They know this is their team that lies on the line, and they're not scared. The side of DELUXE Mangoes, they know they need to make something happen, and they need to make it now, because this Kayle is alive. Problem is, there's not much you can do. You're not far enough ahead you can make this count. This Victor, albeit better than game 1, is still not faring great.
I agree. Oh, we have the flash here just to get the knock up on the Slimzy, but we could see 5DK are making their presence known. Sevan was there for the counter gang. Brad immediately TPs to be like, no, we're getting stuff here. Cataclysm comes out of the Thorben. Thorben might die for the 4th time here. Looks like he's going to go down. Puppets tries to make something happen, but he's a little too far forward. He's going to go down. And Sevan's on Walter here. We see Unstoppable for Slapper going to shut down the Bel'Veth. And now TD Camper's here, but his team isn't. His team's in the fountain. It doesn't mean anything. And that's 5 kills here. That's going to be a free Baron, at least. 5k gold lead now at 31 minutes, and this Baron might be the thing that swings the entire game. If they can capitalize.
I definitely think that could have been one of our last big fights. I mean, that 5k gold lead was huge. I mean, we do see here, the Rel goes in with the Magnet Storm on the Jarvan, trying to shut him down before the fight even starts. The Mangoes are there to try and capitalise. Problem is, all the 5DK are as well. The Curtain Call only lands gets a lot of damage in the end, and is what kills his Rel with the help of the Wake. But by this point, your engage is gone. Yeah, the Ezreal hurts, and Ezreal's been doing work. And they think they got this KO locked up and in line, but this J4, easily my man of the match, has been everywhere. Still unkillable.
Super strong. I don't know if I'd go as far as to call him the man of the series just yet, as I feel like in that first game he did have a really rough time, but in game 2 and in game 3 he has definitely been one of the stronger players on the team, showing up massively, especially in the pivotal match point game, you know, when the series is at its tightest. Sevan is here clutching up and landing those flag drags, and you know, he's 6-0 and 11 right now, man. He's probably got, let me have a look real quick just to double check. He does have the highest kill participation on his team right now, for sure. And if anybody on the side of Mangoes has a higher kill participation, it is exclusively because they have less kills. So, you know, and as we set up for this Drake here, which is Soul, if 5DK could secure it, you know, look, Winter, no! Winter takes big damage trying to get in there, and he just gets porked. Oh, it's looking rough. 3 kills are down.
This could be a penta. Kill Caesar. That's so unfortunate. That would have been a penta.
That's some bullshit.
That should have been a penta.
Report Slimsy in the chat, in the Twitch chat, boys. You gotta do it. You got the KS Slappers penta. That could have been the 3rd penta of the entire tournament. Unbelievable. Slapper
is slapping these Mangoes about, and he looks to have slapped them out of the contest. And 5DK, this looks a bit sketchy, but they look like they will secure the victory.
Yeah, that's it. That's the wrap there. Like I said, man, they're reprising their role here as comeback kings, and you know, that's the series.
This is the greatest comeback since. This is the best comeback since Nicki Minaj.